Good morning, still on a Wednesday. Hey, gonna go on just a little political, just a little bit. You know, to define, just talking, having a simple conversation about our president. And the animosity, the anger, on both sides. But if you try to stay in the middle, it's funny how both sides try to draw on you. And it's not even trying to draw you half the time. It's berating, belittling, condescending. It's jumping in your face because they think that you're on one side or the other. When all I'm trying to do half the time is have a healthy debate about items, about characteristics, about personalities, about things. We're a lot more intelligent than we were back when FDR was kicking around, and all of a sudden we've, had a situation where there was a president who was obviously disabled. We've come a long way in talking about touchy-feely stuff until it comes down to when it has to be talked about in the course of a political theater. I'll say it that way. Fact is that we have a president that is old. Plain simple. Democrats already ran across this and managed to managed to put it up on the table, actually, and address it. And though it was hard, recognize, wait a minute, and went with someone younger. What's going to happen in another just under 4 years? My guess is that it's definitely going to be someone younger. I have a hard time believing it's going to be anybody over 70 that they push in for. But, that's the situation. Right now, the Republicans haven't reached that. They haven't got to that point. They're still holding out on hope on an old person, on an old man. And because he's in the presidency. But when he starts talking about being there for another term, I'm not going to even go down this road. But I can turn around and talk about what we're seeing and hearing. And though people don't want to hear the idea of a dementia or just even getting old, fuck the word dementia. Just the word getting old. To the point that they're not as quick, that they're not as fast. Okay? People have an issue with this. But it's quite obvious that when you have a president, a person of power, a person of professional standing, a person leading a country, supposed to be the symbol of chief and commander. When you have a person of that capacity on Memorial Day and the first thing he does is go on Truth Social or on his little network and does a tweet, and all it is Happy Memorial Day, and then goes off. I'm sorry, there's a problem there. There's a big problem there. That's just one of so many examples. So many examples. Commencement speech normally follows some kind of a format, a line, and you're trying to lift up the people that are graduating. Lift up and congratulate those for such hard work, and congratulate them for a job well done, for an accomplishment of 4 years going through and getting out of college. And once again, this symbol of our leadership, this symbol of our hope, kind of starts going off about trophy wives and something else. I'm not going to even go down the list. Outside of putting it into a comedy, I've listened to a lot of commencement speeches lately too, just to kind of get the context, from comedians to very serious ones. And even if you look and put them up against, or put that one up against those, no matter who the person is, there becomes a problem. You start seeing somebody who, I'm not sure why he was asked to speak. Okay? At like West Point, which is a military establishment. It just doesn't make sense, some of the things that he's saying. So going back to my first point is, yeah, we got a situation where I'm not sure who's trying to pull the wool over whose eyes, but there's definitely a group of and it's a huge group of Americans that are willing to, or that are smart enough to speak out and say, excuse me, don't you see a problem here? Unfortunately, we're talking to people that refuse to have that critical critiquing, that constructive critique. I'll say it that way. Those people refuse to have constructive criticism. And I'm not sure because their feelings are hurt, or their pride is hurt, or they get confused, or they're worried about what the future holds because of their choice. But the fact is, there's a situation. I'm not putting the big grave dark cloud over it. I'm merely just talking about it. It is free speech, after all. If you want me to put a dark cloud, I can put a definite dark cloud on it, because this guy holds the finger to the pulse of America, literally. And if he wants to turn around and stop that jugular by dropping a bomb, or by doing some weird thing in the context of a real critical situation, he has that capability. So, I bring that back to you. This is the person that you want. Doing that kind of position. And we'll go back to the age thing. Hey, after 80, I'm sorry, how many of us have our parents or grandparents running our household? Not that you don't respect them, But let's get real about it. Let's get real about it. They see things very differently because they live in a different time. I am going to see things very differently here in another 20 years or 10 years if I live that long to anybody who is in their 20s. Right or wrong comes down on constructive criticism. I will be living in a different time period. Okay? Our president lives in a different time period. And he can fully live that different time period comfortably because he's rich beyond all wild imagination. All things are taken care for him. Taken care completely. He has no worries whatsoever. He has never known any kind of hardship that we as a regular average American have ever gone through. I'm not denying he's had some weird freaking upbringing. There's no doubt about that. But as far as us goes, nah. So that's a whole different level of talk. So you know what? Let's have some constructive criticism and some talk and dialogue, and everyone meet in the middle. That's how you compromise. That's how you understand things. And it's a beautiful sunny day, and whether it's 70 or 80 degrees doesn't really fucking matter. It's warm. It's warm here in the Northwest. Question is how you can handle it. Got nothing but love for you. Have a great day.